Hey guys, how's it going? It's Amy here, bringing you the final video in this week's Life Word series, Heroes? And today we find ourselves looking at the story of Ruth. We definitely don't need a question mark when it comes to thinking about who Ruth is. She is someone we can learn so much from in terms of what loyalty means, friendship and trust. See, Ruth starts out at an interesting point in our story of our heroes in our faith. She's not one of God's people, but she marries into the family of God. Her husband's family have moved from the land of Israel to the land of Moab, where she has met her husband. However, it all goes wrong for her husband's family as both her father-in-law, her husband and brother-in-law pass away, leaving Ruth with just her mother-in-law, Naomi. Now, Naomi hears that things are going better back in Israel, and so Naomi begins to travel back to where she's from. And as they travel towards the border, Naomi says to Ruth and her other daughter-in-law, "You should go back to your people. I release you from the bonds of marriage you made with my sons." While Ruth's sister-in-law returns, Ruth promises to never leave Naomi. She says these beautiful words, "Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people shall be my people, and your God will be my God." Ruth didn't owe Naomi anything. Her husband had died, and yet Ruth was a faithful companion to her mother-in-law who had lost everything, going with Naomi back to a land and a people she didn't know, but out of loyalty she returned. Things weren't easy when they got back to where Naomi and her family had been from. Ruth had to trust in Naomi and trust in this God whom she was still discovering. See, Naomi had one living relative, a man called Boaz, a good man, kind and faithful. And we see a very strange kind of love story happen. We're going to have to wrestle with some of the customs of the time to understand what's going on. But Ruth goes to the fields of Boaz, picks up leftover grain for those who were hard up financially, but then is bold in following Naomi's instructions to go and sleep at the feet of Boaz. That will then lead to an encounter and a conversation. Boaz will go and claim rights over Naomi's family line. An exchange will happen and marriage will happen as a result. When Ruth left her people to accompany Naomi, she had no idea what it would lead to. Perhaps just years of misery, of unfulfillment. But instead she puts her faith and her trust in Naomi's God, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, whose directions and plans she follows faithfully, even when she doesn't understand. What's the final outcome of it? Well, Boaz and Ruth marry. Ruth has a son called Obed. Obed goes to grow up and has a son called Jesse. Jesse has a son, many sons, but the one important for our story is David, who will become King David. Ruth is the great-grandmother of King David. Someone on the outside of the family line, but brought in, whose faith, loyalty, trust and courage change the fate of history. How can we today be friends like Ruth? How can we be loyal even in difficult circumstances? Who needs our support and companionship this day? Who's finding life tough like Naomi was? Who can we support like Ruth in order to see the plan still come? Guys, have a read of the book of Ruth for yourself. It's really short, just 4 chapters. Drop your questions in and join Kwaku and I on Friday as we explore in Life Words Unpacked what some of the big themes might be for us from this Heroes Week. Guys, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye now.